Yesterday's tragedy doesn't seem to be weighing on the minds of the so-called leaders of this country because today they took it upon themselves to honor the hero George Floyd, where Sleepy Joe signed the George Floyd Policing Act or whatever the hell they want to call it. And I'm not against that. I'm not against them trying to change policing with better training, better equipment. That's always a good thing. But today they took it upon themselves to have this big ceremony at the White House where Carmela spoke of how honored she was to have George Floyd's family there and Breonna Taylor's family there, and how George Floyd's daughter said her daddy's going to change the world. Unfortunately, that child never knew George Floyd because we know he was a career criminal and a drug addict. But they showed their true colors. They could have postponed this. I don't care if it was planned. I don't care if people were in town. I don't give a shit. You don't do something like they did today after such a tragedy yesterday where 20 children were killed and 2 of their teachers were killed by some lunatic with firearms. And Biden doesn't seem to care about that because last night in his bullshit speech, he never mentioned the shooter. Didn't mention a word other than an 18-year-old going in and buying 2 assault weapons. That's all he said. I'm going to tell you why I think he didn't say anything. Because as the news rolls out about this incident and we find out more about the shooter, who, by the way, was killed by law enforcement, which is fantastic. It would have been sad if he took his own life. It's nice that a police officer killed that motherfucker because that's what he deserved. My opinion, sorry if you don't like it, but it's the truth, and you all know it. He didn't say anything about it because apparently Mr. Ramos liked dressing up like a girl. Apparently, he may have been a transgender woman, and he was bullied for it, and he was unhappy. So that, I believe, was the cause of his mental illness. A, because he thinks he's a girl. B, he wanted to walk around like a girl, and people didn't like it. Just like a lot of us today, we accept it because we have to, but we don't like it because we know it's wrong. We know it's bullshit. We know men can't have children, but they want you to believe they can. So this kid was bullied because he liked dressing like a girl. Oh, sorry. It's on you. It's not on anybody else. So he took it upon himself with all his mental anguish to get firearms and go into an elementary school and just start killing people because he was bullied. He needed help and he never got it. But whose fault is that? Whose fault is it? I'm not blaming this administration for this, even though they're a disgrace. No one saw the signs of this kid's problems. He had to show signs of mental illness, of wanting to hurt people. There were photos posted on an Instagram where he showed high-capacity magazines along with the photos of him dressed as a girl. But that's neither here nor there. This administration wouldn't talk about it. Biden did not mention it last night because he doesn't want to upset the people he holds dear to his heart. The LGBTQ are his biggest supporters, the ones who vote for him, and the ones he's vowed to take care of and make sure they're not discriminated against. And I've said this 2 million times, and I'm going to say it one more time. No one gives a shit what these people want to do. Just stop throwing it down our throats. We're sick of it. Stop teaching it to kids and cut the bullshit and go on and live your transgender life. No one fucking cares. Today could have been postponed. Okay? It was wrong to go on stage with all the media and all the hoopla treating George Floyd like he was some superhero who died for a cause. He gave his life for our country. He would have died from a fentanyl overdose anyways. And yeah, the way he was killed was wrong. But they got the nerve to throw it in your face that this guy was some kind of hero that was going to save policing. We all know his family made millions of dollars. We all know that. I don't know about the Breonna Taylor thing, but I'm assuming if they didn't get a payday yet, they're going to. So who suffers from it? The rest of us do, because we have to go along with all this propaganda that they want to push because they were wronged. And by the way, where was Patrisse Cullors at this event? BLM was nowhere to be found. Why? Because we all know BLM's a fraud. And maybe, just maybe, these sickening politicians are finally realizing that. They don't want anything to do with that organization because they know it's a fraud. Just like them, of course. Biden's been a fraud his entire career. Harris has been a fraud her entire career. Although they received 83 million votes, we all know that. But my point is, you're going to see all, like I said in my last episode, you're going to see all, they're all going to come out. All the liberals, all the ban guns, ban assault weapons. How about this? How about trying to take care of people who are mentally ill? There's nothing wrong with changing gun laws, but don't change them so a law-abiding citizen is banned from owning a firearm that under the Constitution they can rightfully own. But that's what they want to do. They don't want the average homeowner or just the average person who enjoys shooting, sport shooting, target shooting, whatever. They don't want them to be able to have, say, an AR-15, a semi-automatic rifle, because they might use it to save themselves someday. They might use it to protect their family. But that's not good. This administration doesn't want that. They want to tell you what you can and what you cannot own, which we all know is bullshit. It's bullshit. But that's what they want to do. And you're going to hear them all the liberal politicians, all the Democratic people who are running for office. They're going to use this heinous act yesterday. They're going to use it as a political platform to try to get themselves elected. People need to open their eyes and start reading through all their bullshit, because that's exactly what it is. It's bullshit. And you're going to see the celebrities and the athletes. They're all going to come out talking about it. And one of my favorite ones, who we all know is the biggest phony out there, is the one and only LeBron James. He took it upon himself to tweet out two statements. One said, and I'm going to read it to you, and I quote, "There simply has to be change." Has to be in capitals. He's praying to the heavens above, to all with kids these days in schools. Number one, he's illiterate. I'm pretty sure that could have been worded a lot better. But he's a basketball player. He's a gazillionaire. He's got to put his 2 cents in because he thinks people give a fuck. What has he done? What has he done for these communities with all his money? Nothing. And I said this before, and I'll say it again. He needs to take Shaquille O'Neal's lead and start using his money for the good of the country. Start helping people instead of his bullshit tweets that I'm going to read another one right now. He says, "My thoughts and prayers goes out to the families of loved ones lost and injured at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas." Like, when is enough enough, man? These are kids, and we keep putting them in harm's way at school. Like, seriously, at school? Where it's supposed to be the safest. Are you fucking kidding me? Can he take some English? Do something? Spend some of your money the right way? You're so fucking illiterate, this guy. But everybody loves him. He's a big superstar. But this is the kind of bullshit that these Democrats like. These illiterate fucking athletes right out of high school worth millions because he can play a fucking game. And every chance they get, they come out and start talking their garbage, but they'll do nothing about it. He sits behind his pearly gates in his white neighborhood and doing what? Absolutely nothing. But he wants to tweet these illiterate statements, and everybody's supposed to bow down and pray, oh, the great LeBron. He's a phony. He's a fraud. He's good at basketball. He needs to stick to basketball and leave everything else alone, because him running his mouth is not helping anything. But we're going to continue to see this now all along the campaign trail from yesterday up until the midterms in November. These Democrats are going to be spewing their trash, talking about gun control, because innocent children were killed again by some mentally ill person who had access to firearms. And I'm going to end it there, but I'm going to say this one more time. People need to wake up, all the bleeding hearts, all the, not in my house, I'll never own a firearm. But God forbid you ever need one day, you're going to wish you had it. But remember one thing, it's not the guns that are killing people, it's the mentally ill people with the guns that are killing people. That's what these fucking Democrats need to do. They need to listen to something like that and realize that people are struggling. People are desperate. People are losing all hope, especially in this country, because of the bullshit that's coming out of Washington, and because they're too busy taking care of the George Floyd's families of the world and foreign countries and not giving two shits about people in their own country. That's the problem. It's not the guns. They need to wake the fuck up, and anybody who considers voting for these fools, you need to wake up as well. And that's my rant. I appreciate you tuning in. If you haven't already liked this video, please consider liking it. Consider subscribing to my channel, and if you do, hit that notification bell and you'll be notified when another video is up. I hope everybody's healthy and safe. And like I said in my last episode, keep your head on a swivel no matter where you are, because one of these fucking lunatics can come out of nowhere. Protect yourself, protect your family, hold your family tight, kiss your kids at night, because God forbid something like this happens, and we all know we don't want that. I'll see everybody soon. Take care.